said, "Are you a communist?"
No, I am not. I call myself a democratic socialist, in many ways inspired by the words of Dr. King, who said, call it democracy or call it democratic socialism. There has to be a better distribution of wealth for all of God's children.
So y'all saw that he invoked MLK, right?
Yes.
Yes. I actually have the 6th volume of the MLK papers, which he's referencing on page 105. King says, what will eventually happen is this. Labor will become so powerful that she will be able to place a president in the White House. This will in all probability bring about a nationalization of industry. This will be the end of capitalism, says Dr. King. He goes on to say, what will the new movement be called in America? I must admit that I don't know. It might well be socialism, communism, or a democratic socialism. But what does it matter anyway? A rose called by any other name smells just as sweet. Those are the words of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And by the way, when you look at the Democratic Socialist logo, you'll notice that it has a hand with a rose in it. Basically, what it's referencing is that old Shakespearean slogan, a rose called by any other name smells just as sweet. These are people who chameleonize themselves under different names so long as they can push their agenda because they're very utilitarian in this way. King was willing to be known as a reverend, as a pastor, as a minister, using this kind of position to push this Marxist agenda. But if you ask him if he was a communist, no, I'm not a communist. One of his aides, Jack Odell, said you have to basically move out from under this name and join that name in order to be seen as helpful amongst the public. So they associate you not with communism, but they associate you with benevolence.
I had decided to leave the party because not that I had any disagreement with them. But the point is, if there's somebody going to call you one thing or another, you move out from under that so you can get known to be helpful in these other areas.
When people think of Dr. King, they think not of communism, they think of a person who brought the races together. Meanwhile, you see all these policies that are being pushed, modeled after his legacy, that is moving us towards socialism. Your average American person is none the wiser, and they're just accepting this stuff wholesale because they agree with the symbols of who MLK is. They agree with the symbols of who all these figures that we've been indoctrinated and trained to celebrate are. But the reality is, a rose by any other name smells just as sweet. We have to actually expose a rose for what it is and let people know, like, look, that rose will soon wither, and it has thorns. And the fact of the matter is, the society that they're promising you is one that is, first of all, unsustainable, and second of all, will leave you worse off than you currently are.
How they say, your enemy come at you with a smile and a handshake, and pretend like they're your friends.